Hi everyone. What I want to talk about today is a little bit about rotator cuff strengthening, shoulder strengthening. How do you rehab a sore, painful shoulder? I've been posting a little bit about how conservative management for rotator cuff tears is appropriate and how exercise may help or can help you rehabilitate a shoulder even if you have a torn rotator cuff. So I'd just like to talk today about some basic principles about what's good for the shoulder. I've had some of you reach out and say, hey, what's the best exercise for rehabbing a rotator cuff? How can I do, or what can I do for this type problem? So basic principles or basic things that you have to remember is the rotator cuff are small little muscles that support our shoulder joint, okay? The ones we can see out here are deltoids, our chest muscles, our lats are all big muscles, but inside of there are smaller muscles called our rotator cuff. And they control how the shoulder moves and functions. The interesting thing is that even when we strengthen the big muscles, like doing bench press, doing shoulder presses, doing lat pull downs, doing push-ups, our small rotator cuff muscles are working. So if we talk about what do I need to do specifically for my rotator cuff muscles, basically you can do any upper body exercises and you'll be working your rotator cuffs. So think pushing in front of you, pulling, pushing overhead, pulling down from overhead. All of those type exercises can work to rehab your shoulder. Now you may be thinking, well gosh, I would like to do that, but my shoulder hurts. So what I tell people is if you have pain with a certain activity, the first thing you can do is think about how much pain am I having. So, not every exercise as part of our rehab needs to be pain-free. If we waited until it was pain-free, we might never ever get anywhere. And sometimes working through a little bit of pain is okay. So what I tell people is if your pain is mild during the exercise, like 3 out of 10 or less, go ahead and work through it. If you don't want to work through sharp shoulder pain, sharp grabbing, sharp stabbing. So if you can do some push-ups, if you can do some bench press with minimal pain, do it. If you're having greater pain, try to change the angle of your elbows, the angle of your hands. All right, same thing with overhead press. It's a great exercise for your shoulders, but if it hurts or if you're getting a pinching pain in it, change the angle from sideways with your elbows to forward with your elbows and see if that helps. Most pulling exercises like rowing or lat pull downs should be fine to do for your shoulders in most rotator cuff problems. So think about what upper body exercises do you like to do? Do you need to go lighter if you haven't done them for a while? Do you need to change the angle of what you've done in the past? Maybe even do you need to restrict the motion? So instead of doing a full push-up down to the ground, just do a partial push-up until your shoulder gets used to it again. Try those things to see if you can start getting back into working your upper body a little bit. Use lighter weight, change the motion, change the angles. Those are just some basic principles of how would I get somebody started back into a gym program if they've been struggling with a shoulder problem for a while. Watch my upcoming videos, and I will post out some more specific, what we think are rotator cuff specific strengthening exercises. But in general, you're using your rotator cuff when you do any upper body exercise, so you can start there and just adjust things as needed depending on how you're feeling. All right, I hope that helps get you started. Watch for future videos and reach out if you have any questions.